all my life. Been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look.
Hello, North Texas. Welcome to JMS Podcast, where we don't sugarcoat it and we just speak the truth. You know, I've been having fun with these subjects. I know that it might ruffle some feathers, but that's not the intent. The intent is just to share my point of view, my experiences, and to just see maybe it influence somebody, maybe to just do better. So that's my intent. Anybody wants to come out here, please feel free. Give me a call and let's set something up. The next topic that we're going to talk about is winning versus development. Okay. For me, I look at this as that winning and development go hand in hand. I said, so to me, I feel like you feel some coaches are like, I'm about development. Doesn't mean that they're not about winning or not trying to win. And some coaches say, well, I'm about winning. Doesn't mean that they're not trying to develop. He goes, but to me, I feel like in general, North Texas, I would say 90% or above parents care about winning. Maybe they don't know what development is, how it looks like. So they care about winning. They, trophy chasing, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like as a coach and as executive director of DKC, I feel like coaches maybe don't want to develop because they know that takes time. It's not overnight. You got to be super patient. And if you don't get results, you have a chance of the team blowing up, moving, losing players. And when everybody's recruiting and it's getting out of hand with, we'll pay your flights, we'll pay your fees, you'll pay this, promises, scare tactics. I've heard if you stay with that club, you're never going to get a Division I school to look at you. Division I schools, professional teams, they want talent. They care less who you play for. They care less who your network is. You're talented. I'm not saying it doesn't help, the platform. But in my opinion, I feel that too many coaches are just giving the parent what they want, and that's result. And so their focus is on winning because they might not have the patience or they don't have the time. 2 times of practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours is not enough. So for me, I look at it as like I'm super, super competitive. So I spoke about it is like when I go to bowl with my family, if it's shooting pool, if it's whatever it is that I do, playing cards, playing Monopoly, I want to be the very best. And so if I'm going to learn how to do something, it's pick up an instrument. I can't just do it to learn and just to enjoy it. It becomes in my DNA is like, I got to get better. And that's why I won't start something that, I never wanted to coach for that reason. So for me, I think I'm super competitive. So I want to win when it matters. So at U6, U7, U8, U9, U10, I look at it as like, yeah, competition is important. The participation trophies, hate them. No, if a kid doesn't win and they're losing, I used to break my trophies, throw them in the trash. I was a sore loser. He goes, but I think that fueled me. I got to get better. Nowadays, I'm not winning. I'm going to move teams. So my kid doesn't have that feeling, or the coach looks at it like, I got to recruit those players that maybe are more athletic and forget trying to teach them the game. It is just put her in, player. Things that I hear coaches that have A licenses, never go back. I look at it as like, yeah, go forward every single time. Every single time you can go forward when you can, but when you can't, do the players know how to be patient and recycle it to entice pressure while the other players move to find space? Do they read the game? Do they look at the cues of the runs that their teammates make? All that takes time, and playing possession or possession direct or whatever you want to call it to develop a high soccer IQ player, decision maker, takes a lot of time. And I feel like a lot of coaches just don't have the patience. or they understand that we can't do it. So for me, one of the things that in this country, I feel like what was our strength is now our Achilles heel. U.S. has always had top level leagues. Used to be here in North Texas, classically clubs like the Feeders that now we merge and become DKC has been around since 1978. You had Stings that been a long club in North Texas women. And he goes, and I felt like people didn't go do the specialized training. He goes, I think they played more pickup games. I think now in other countries, they're playing a lot of pickup games. They're playing futsal, their creativity. On the other hand, because we're so focused on winning, you see coaches joysticking, telling them what to do. They're not teaching. I hear parents tell me now that I'm back into coaching, man, you don't say anything. My coaching's done at practice. The game is to let them make mistakes. Yes, we make adjustments. We're playing this way. We're switching this formation. This is what we're doing. This is what we're looking for. But we allow them to make those mistakes so they can learn. So I think I've had pickup games where I've ran JMS pickup games, and I've seen parents, my kid's not getting challenged because they might be playing in a group that is not as competitive, and they leave instead of sometimes work on being creative instead of, oh, I'm playing with kids that are younger than me, because then when I move them to older, they're struggling, and then they're mad because they're not touching the ball. So in my opinion, pickup games, which I run a lot of pickup games in the off season, that's something that's missing in this country, the creativity. But at such a young age, I see it all the time. Coaches yelling every single movement like they're robots. So as a kid, when they get the ball, they have no decision-making skill, because what is my coach telling me? Put her in, pass it, kick it. It's never letting the kid, how did you receive the ball? What did you see? If you make that decision, you moved here, did your teammate know you're moving there so you could find space? Soccer is a simple sport to play, but it's the most difficult thing to do. Parents just don't understand that. And at the end, my father-in-law used to hate watching our games because we would throw the ball on throw-ins backwards to keep possession a lot of times when we can. If the person was taken, people create space, movement. There was a lot of movement, and he would say, Juan, why you go backwards a lot? I say, it's because we can't go forward because there's pressure. And my sister-in-law would tell him, Dad, you don't know soccer. You played baseball. My father-in-law's response is like, I don't know soccer, but I know where the goal's at. The goal's that way. He should be going that way. So again, we laugh off, but that's kind of like the consumer, the parent doesn't know what development means. It takes me, I think, 2-3 minutes to watch a player at an older age, whether it's at 14, 15, 16, say that's a soccer player. Soccer players play with your brain. You hear that a lot. Yes, athleticism, the 5 phases, technical, tactical, physical, mental, social. To be a complete player, you got to be above average in all 5. If you're below an average in one of those, you're not a complete player. So for me, I feel development takes time. The kids have to love the sport to spend, because that's the difference maker, is how much time they spend without the ball. I tell all the players that I coach, find a wall, find a wall. I feel a wall was my best friend growing up. I feel there was a cafeteria where I lived. I went to Griner. There was a white cafeteria and there was a football field. Everybody knew if they came knocked at my house and I'm not there, they knew exactly where I was at. So in that wall, I basically would duct tape squares in the corners to be like, those are the corners of a goal. And as I shoot, I might miss my target, but when it comes back, I'm taking my first touch with the outside my foot, inside my foot. I'm acting like I'm going this way to get pressure. And then I'm looking at my target to say, okay, that's where I'm gonna shoot. That's where I'm gonna shoot. Settling high balls. You know, I would kick the ball at an angle. It'll come up. I'm settling it with my chest. with my thighs, with the bottom of the sole of my foot, not trapping it, but settling it so I could get my head up quicker. So all those things I would just say is like, it takes a lot of time, and parents look at, okay, this coach is winning. And the coaches know that. The coaches know that. They know it doesn't matter about development. Here's the list of players that we got to go get in North Texas, go get them. So the phone calls call, everybody calls, and it's musical chairs. I feel if we focus on development, the winning, we could be the best country, dominate, have the best teams, but nobody's trying to develop. They're just trying to poach players, recruit players, because they understand winning is the most important thing. So again, some coaches can develop. They just know that if they focus on that, they might not have a team. Some coaches put food on the table for that. He goes, and they've told me, they say, I want to work on these things, but I can't because of X, Y, Z. You know, for me, when I started coaching my daughter and my niece, I looked at it as like, I want to win. Said, but not at the expense of developing. So my first process was to be fundamentally sound on the ball mastery, player and ball. So for like, I think 3, 4, 5 years, that's all we spent on. It was different, but it was okay. Let's learn this skill. Let's learn how to control the ball close to us, not let the ball control us. Change the direction, change the speed were the two things I kept preaching. 1v1s, you got to be comfortable. As they got older, then I introduced more tactics and all that. But to me, I look at it, if those parents were just chasing wins, we wouldn't have kept some players because we're a really good team. I would say a top 3, top 4 team, but we were never the top team in academy. But then as you forward, when we became select, we're beating all these teams. At U13, with no ECNL, no DA, all these platforms, we beat all the clubs. Okay? We beat Solar, we beat Sting, we beat Texans, FC Dallas. They sharpened us because they were recruiting. We stayed retaining the same players and going to State Cup, winning that, winning regionals, going to nationals. He goes, and then ECNL started at U14. Our team stayed together, but then it became the alphabet soups. So that's going to be one of the podcasts in the future, is the explosion of women's soccer. Okay, that's one of the topics. The leagues, the history of the leagues and all the platforms that we have, but it all ties down to winning versus development. Everybody's not elite. Doesn't mean you cannot get there, but it seems like everybody's like, I need to play at their level. I need to go, and I'm not knocking any skills trainer. I'm not. Okay, JMS, I did private training sessions, small group training sessions. I'm not knocking, but I told every player that came to see me and paid me, if they didn't put effort or their attitude was bad, I would tell the parent, they're wasting your money. Don't even bring them on because I can't help develop them. And then also I would tell the player, if I teach you this, and this is the only time you're touching the ball, you're not going to develop to your full potential. Go, before you come back again, make sure you do 5 sessions on this topic, that skill to master it. Again, I wasn't there just for the money, but it is a business. But I just tell you, for right now, I think as a country, other countries like Spain, I see it with Mexico, I see it, they don't have a league. So their players are training, not let's play this club versus that club for this trophy. Yeah, there's competition, but they're playing futsal. They're getting work. I've seen some players, my daughter Jade went to Mexico national team. I've seen some of those players when they were 12, 13, like Elise Soto, playing with women now. Phenomenal player. Her IQ, her decision-making, I feel like she plays like a boy. The confidence on the ball, the calm, the tempo, reading the game. So all those things it's a lot of work, but she wasn't chasing trophies. North Texas, U.S., that's the U.S. mentality. Win at all cost. And so that's where I would tell you it's winning and development. We could debate this and talk about it. I welcome more coaches to talk about this because I think US and MLS and organizations that can make a difference, but maybe the politics, maybe the business gets in the way. Again, thank you for listening to JMS. Look forward for you to continue chiming in. Please comment, send me messages on any topics that you want. But the JMS is just about not sugarcoating and just talking about topics that you might not want to talk about, but where we speak the truth. Thank you. Thank you for listening to JMS again. He goes, where we don't sugarcoat it, we just speak the truth.